You're watching Filter Kaapi. My name is Sudhir. Lots of developments took place on Friday over the conduct of the NEET and the JEE. And at the end of it, students were only more confused. Now, many of you have been writing to me, asking me to put out the news with the inside details. But as you know, I do not record a video and publish a video unless I have information more than what is already there in the public domain. I speak to my sources to find out what exactly is happening in the corridors of power, where the decisions are actually taken. So I was talking to people till late in the night and also this morning, and this is what I have learned. Let's go in order so that it's not confusing. Yesterday, Rajya Sabha MP and BJP leader Dr. Subramanian Swamy wrote a letter to the Prime Minister asking for JEE and NEET to be postponed. That brought some fresh hope to the students who are demanding that the two entrance examinations not be held in the month of September. Dr. Swamy had also put out a tweet in which he wrote about having interacted with the Education Minister and telling him that the exams should be postponed beyond Diwali and that the Supreme Court order on Monday would not prevent it from changing the date, since it's a policy decision to be decided by the government. But the question is the government of India in agreement? Not exactly. NTA officials have told me, as well as another senior journalist, that arrangements are being made to have a foolproof examination from the point of health safety. The press release that the NTA put out late last night also makes a reference to that. Yesterday, Amit Khare, the Higher Education Secretary in the Government of India, also confirmed that the two examinations will not be postponed. So here is the perspective, because who is saying what really matters, and I have covered politics and governance for close to 3 decades, so I understand these nuances a bit, so bear with me. Point number 1, Mr. Amit Khare as a bureaucrat is highly respected in the Government of India and is held in high esteem, especially by the Prime Minister's office. For those of you who do not know his background, he is the one who had played a role in exposing the fodder scam in the 1990s in Bihar, the Chara Ghotala, when he was district magistrate in Bihar, in undivided Bihar. So if he has said something so categorically that these two entrance examinations will not be postponed, it will be taken seriously by the Prime Minister's office, and quite possible would even have the backing of the most powerful people in the Government of India. Okay, I'm basing this on Mr. Amit Khare's personal credibility and image. Person number 2 is Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General of India. Now, please note that Tushar Mehta is the person who is articulating the Government of India's position in the Supreme Court, both in the UGC case as well as he did so in the JEE NEET case also on Monday, this 17th of August. In both cases, Mr. Tushar Mehta has said that examinations will have to be conducted, and will not be postponed, at least in the case of the JEE and NEET. In the case of the UGC final year examinations, he has said the examinations have to be conducted before the 30th of September and they will not be cancelled. And also making the important point that states cannot dictate terms to the UGC. So Mr. Tushar Mehta is the legal voice of the government in the Supreme Court. The UGC case is still alive in the Supreme Court and we can expect a judgment early next week. So Mr. Tushar Mehta obviously cannot take a position that exams will have to be conducted in the UGC case, but take a very different position as far as the JEE and NEET is concerned. So from a legal point of view, from a legal standpoint, that is a bit of a knot that the government will have to be mindful of. The third important person, or rather the authority, is the Union Home Ministry. Now in the case of the UGC, the Home Ministry filed an affidavit saying that it had given permission to the UGC to conduct the final year examinations in universities across the country. Now the Home Ministry at this point in time as I speak is also involved in framing the unlock guidelines to be released before the 31st of August, and more easing up is expected by different sectors of the Indian economy. If the Home Ministry says everything is okay, other examinations can be held, but not JEE, not NEET, it would be in a sense contradicting itself. So you get these 3 major elements that kind of point that the examinations will not be postponed. Also, if the Home Ministry changes its mind on NEET and JEE, it would also amount to not reposing trust in its own government's machinery, especially when your own higher education secretary and the National Testing Agency are saying that they are in a position to conduct the examinations. So the point is, would the government want to send the message across that everything is not okay? That, to my mind, is an important question, and that's a question that will have to be answered by the Government of India, and on that hinges this entire decision. What is the messaging the Government of India wants to send out to the entire country? But even while I said it, it's not as though there is no hope for those who are seeking the postponement of the exams, and I'll tell you two factors which also are equally important. From what all indications I've got so far, the impression I get is that the final decision will now be taken at the top level of the government, and when I say the top level of the government, I mean the political leadership, and more specifically the PMO and the Union Home Ministry, not by any other ministry. Yes, the Education Ministry may well announce it later, right? But the final decision maker will be Narendra Modi and Amit Shah's offices. Point number 2, and this is significant, the cases in the country of COVID-19 yesterday, Friday, was close to almost touching 70,000. It was 69,000 change. So if they increase dramatically, and over the last 1 week, the cases are in that range of 60 to 70,000. If the number of cases increase dramatically over the weekend or early part of next week to close to a lakh, that to my mind will put a lot of pressure on the Government of India to respond, and that could possibly be some kind of a game changer as far as this particular decision on NEET and JEE are concerned. So watch this space. This is a developing story. The decision has been taken by the Government of India, by the Supreme Court, but in light of the pressure that is being mounted, you can never rule out a rethink. But I've listed out the pros and cons, what could happen this side, what could possibly happen this side as well. So as I said, this is still a developing story. Thank you very much for watching.